Welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time to talk about the newest champion in MCoC, none other than the 10-year anniversary Isophyne. I'm going to show you this fight, and then we're going to talk a lot about how to use her, recoil-friendly, signature ability, the whole thing. But I think it's important to set the tone with this fight right here against a 374,000 health, rank 3, 7-star Serpent, right? This is on the CCP server. What you're seeing is a rank 3, SIG 200 Isophyne. Don't worry, I'm going to show you the SIG 1 as well, too. But I want to test this all. What we're essentially doing is we are landing our light attacks. That's when she can nullify a buff, or when she would have nullified a buff, you do still gain some power. Power and ego are incredibly important to her. The ego is the kind of purple, I don't know, looks to me like a monkey wearing a party hat emblem in the upper left-hand corner. They do a lot of things for you, but some of the biggest things they do for you is add attack rating, okay? And then it plays into her special 2 as well. The other thing that you're seeing going on here is I'm actually throwing my special 1. She has that fractured power bar where you can actually choose what you want to throw. And Serpent just died. Serpent just died. He was just killed. He's been obliterated by the special 2. She gains a tremendous amount of power in matchups with buffs. We threw our special 1s. I think we threw 3 of them to get the energy vulnerabilities up. Then our special 2 just did the work, and that was a rank 3 7-star Serpent in 43 seconds. 43 seconds. All right, now that I've got your attention, let's go ahead and talk about the details here as we go through this. Now, all these fights are going to be against 7-star rank 3 champion, SIG 200 on the CCP server. What you're seeing here in these first few fights is I wanted to give you a sense of what she would be like at SIG 1. You know, you're going to want her awakened, right? We're going to talk about the signature ability throughout this whole thing. You do want her awakened for a couple different reasons. One of the biggest ones is that's what makes her the Serpent counter and giving her, well, a phenomenal Serpent counter and giving her that mark passive, which is at 125%, right? When champions have the mark passive on, they can't produce any immortality effects or anything like that. So the big counter, or the big reason for that, the big target is obviously Serpent. The other thing you're seeing is she has a really powerful nullifier. Both champions, both light attacks have a 35% chance to nullify 1 buff on Isophyne's opponent. So this could happen if you're fighting her too. So just keep that in mind if you're using a buff champion. If the opponent has a Pierce effect active, this becomes a 70% chance to nullify. You can see I was showing the SIG right there. Now, I think Nullify is a really big open space as far as 7-star Mystics are concerned. 7-star Mystics have been insanely powerful over the latter half of 2024. They're in the top 10, in my opinion, and we'll be showing that. But there's no pure Nullify champion. I mean, Dragonan definitely has one as well too. But there's a lot more here as far as versatility. She has immunity as well with Isophyne. So you get into these matchups, and then you're going to have that 35% chance to nullify. You can see the fractured power bar, meaning any power you have over a single bar or a dot, let's call it in this case, or circle, whatever, octagon, I don't know those things. You can choose to throw it. Your special 1 is going to allow those energy vulnerabilities. You see them under Hyperion's health bar here, and you can see we're handling this just fine. The other thing that's really helpful about this is she does have some power control, is off her special 2. She does have 100% wither passive. So the final hit of the special 2 inflicts a non-stacking 100% wither passive for 24 seconds. That is a very, very long time. While active, whenever Isophyne triggers a nullify, they trigger an additional nullify. So this is going to help you keep off even more buffs. You have incentive to get to your special 2. One of the biggest things about her, as far as utilizing her well, is figuring out, do you want to throw your special 1s first or your special 2? Do you want the utility that's coming off that special 2? Special 2 is also your big damage cash out. You saw that against Serpent there at the very beginning. The other thing is the special 1 is what's putting on those energy vulnerabilities. So for the special 2 to hit as hard as you just saw, you want those energy vulnerabilities up. A lot of it for me in all of my testing was, how threatening are those buffs? Am I just purely using the buffs as a battery to charge up my own power and let me choose which special I wanted to throw and also help me gain that ego that's increasing my attack rating, right? We talked about that. Or are the buffs incredibly powerful and scary, and I need to get rid of them faster, in which case I'm going to go to the special 2. The signature ability is going to play into that quite a bit as far as I'm concerned, and I'll show that here in just a second. The other thing that I do want to mention about the special 2, though, is that for each ego passive active on Isophyne, they gain 924 Fury passive for the duration of the special attack. That's another reason that special 2 is hitting so hard. So not only are egos good because they have that attack rating, and they do have a minimal amount of energy resistance as well, but then when you go to the special 2, it's going to make the special 2 even harder because of that Fury passive. Again, I'm showing you some, particularly choosing these fights because I think they're tough defenders. We're getting 7-star Medusa in the game. You're going to see her in Battlegrounds, War, those sorts of things. Obviously in Quest, you can see her, but her updated kit makes her more of a threat. And then you have Nova here, right? Where, you know, back in the day, back a few years ago, Nullify was everywhere. That's just what Mystics did. And then we had, you know, America Chavez and Entropy, right? Or I can't think of what it's called, right? But Mojo, Shatra's got it now. She's incredibly powerful. And then we had like the Neutralize with Rintra and things like that, which leaves this open space for a champion like Isophyne to come in and be incredibly valuable, because there's champions like this that already have buffs that exist, right? All of those other things aren't going to get rid of a buff. They're not going to prevent the buff from happening, and they can't shorten the duration of a buff that's just already on the champion and is going to exist for the duration of the fight, which is part of what I really like about her. Now, I think we've moved into the SIG 200 portion of this, and I am going to read this to you, okay? Here's the part about it. There's 3 bullet points. There's one that has like a little bit of a special attack. Gonna grant Isophyne a non-sacking regen. That's really nice, but I never noticed it making too big of a difference. This didn't feel nearly as powerful as like Kushala's. We talked about the 125% marked passive, right? That's what's preventing Serpent from going immortal and things like that. That's obviously very powerful. It's on Serpent, could be elsewhere in the game. And then there's this last bullet point, and this is what's speeding up her ramp considerably. Isophyne starts each fight with a power gain passive, granting 33% to 99% of a bar of power over 10 seconds. So watch this. Not only is this a matchup with buffs, but you're going to see my power bar just over the course of 10 seconds really start to grow. And then remember, every time you cross a bar of power, you get 2 of those ego passes. You see the monkey with the hat is already up to 8, and we're only at 2 of our squares. Follow me, you know what I mean. We're at 10. That's all that attack value. We're landing our special ones, right? Which means we're keeping the power too. It's a really nice feature. She's incredibly fun to play. And then we're going in and we're just absolutely blasting this. The other thing that's going to matter, or the thing you're going to want to learn, and all of my testing was, how many energy vulnerabilities do I want to get? How many special ones? You've seen me have fights where I only throw 1 special one. You've seen me have fights where I throw 3 and I get up a significant amount like I did against Serpent. It's just going to be the resistance that you're facing, the amount of buffs you're getting, nullifying, the amount of power you're getting, and what you're trying to do, the health pool of your opponent. But you can see she's insanely versatile in all these fights. When we place her on the tier list, I'll kind of talk, because I do think there is a downside to her. She's not like a perfect champion in that she's not going to take literally everything for you. You now don't have a need for any other mystics on your roster. You absolutely do, but she's powerful. I did want to quickly show her SP3. It's going to land this this degen on it, which you see is actually really nice, right? I found it not to be as cool as I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was going to get stronger as I placed the energy vulnerabilities, but you can see it's staying consistent, this 1,148. I did see some potential uses for it, like if you're struggling to nullify, right? Like Cersei has the glancing mechanic. I tested against Maestro. I didn't think it was like that amazing. The fight kind of like went on and on anyway, so I was kind of struggling a little bit more to gain my power. There might be some ways around it. There could be some uses that we find for it over time. So I'm very open to that idea. But again, it was just kind of something that I thought we would show. And then you can use your SP2. Like I could have ended that fight a little more quickly if I'd gone to my SP2. So just so you know, it is there. Okay, quickly looking at our synergies, they're actually very powerful. This is the first one, coming soon. I think that's going to be the other idol champions, right? She's like a new race they've created. Pretty cool that Kabam gets to do this. Like, my understanding is they're officially part of Marvel lore. So we'll just have to see what those are when we get to them. This one is Gladiator. Sounds incredibly powerful. Isophyne starts with 4 ego. We just talked about what ego does. You can think about how much that could really help your ramp as well too, right? If you just get to that, you get to your special 3, throw 1 special 1 for those energy vulnerabilities, and then you're going to throw special 2, you'll have that many more ego, and you can see it actually increases the cap of your ego as well. Really excited about that one. Gladiator's not a bad champion himself either. Then this next one with Howard the Duck, Gwenpool, and Spot. Activating special 1 at 3 bars of power inflicts 3 energy vulnerabilities. Again, you saw me do that multiple times, because when you cross that bar of power, right, you're getting more of your ego, then you're throwing the special 1, you're getting up a 3rd energy vulnerability. that could really influence your decision making on like, do I need to even go to a second special 1, or can I just go straight to that special 2? Remember, in a lot of these matchups, you can be able to get straight to your special 2. A lot of these can be very helpful. Keep this in mind when I talk later about matchups where there are no buffs for her to nullify. This found technology, whenever a personal immunity triggers, gain a 8% Fury passive. She actually has, I think, is Bleed and Incinerate immunity. If that is incorrect, I will make sure I put that in the type here. You'll be able to see that. But I believe it is Bleed and Incinerate. So that's could happen, right? And we don't know what the other idol champions are going to have. And then this gains ability power rate. There's no reason not to like that. You can see she's already gaining a ton of power in her matchups anyway. This could obviously just help. All right, let's go ahead and place her on the tier list. All right, those of you who are seeing this are actually getting a little sneak peek at the final tier list for 2024 after we do all the top 10s, the MCoC Illuminati top 10s and all that. But that's cool. That's cool. You can let me know what you think about it. But we're here to talk about Isophyne. This is an incredibly strong champion. I misspoke. It's Bleed and the Cold Snap effects, but still, that is a dual immunity champion. You saw what she can do with the Awakened ability. Very, very helpful. And then as you get the signature ability going, it's really allowing her to pop off. Where I found a struggle to keep the ego going, right? Because you need to be crossing those bars of power or nullifying things, was in matchups that didn't have any buffs. Well, I mean, she's designed to handle those buffs, but going over all of those synergies made me feel very strongly like those would help her out in those scenarios, at least when the health pool is small enough, like a war or a battlegrounds. Obviously, you can't bring synergies to battlegrounds, or if you can play aggressively enough to keep her power going, to keep her bars of power going, to keep the ego going. Because remember, those energy vulnerabilities were all passive. Her furies that she gets on her special 2 were passive. She also then has that Wither off of the special 2, which could help you control a lot of power. So if you're having trouble nullifying everything and it's the power gain that's causing the problem from the node or passive, or it's just a natural power gain like Adam Warlock or something like that, she's going to handle that for you. She has the utility and the power to get to her special 2 quickly enough to get you out of the problems. This is a fantastic champion. I don't believe we see a tier above champion because I think her ability to go outside of her class targets, it's weakened, it's dampened a little bit. I think you're going to want those synergies and those sorts of things. But I do feel very confident you have a Scorching tier champion. She's going to be incredibly valuable in war. I think for people who are looking for Serpent counters, or if we get more Cosmic Defenders who have the desire or the need, or they're asking you to nullify them, and that's just going to be as simple as like them introducing a Nihilist to the game. This is a tough defender that we just haven't thought about in a very long time, and many of our current Mystics aren't nullified champions, right? That we're using in battlegrounds and things like that. So just be as simple as bringing back those defenders, bringing back them for EOP or whatever sort of content, and you've immediately got a chance where she like maybe literally the best option for it. So the fact that she has all of that going for her, that much as far as tailoring, as far as targets for her, and then she's not terrible against her non-target stuff, I think this is a fantastic champion. I will be very excited to get her for free. And then at some point, she's got to be in some sort of crystal. I will be hoping to awaken her. The Mystic class is just so outrageously strong that I will probably be waiting for that to happen. But I don't think you're making a bad decision if you choose to awaken her because you need some Serpent targets or because you just enjoy playing her. She is an absolute blast. As usual, let me know what we think we got wrong. Let me know what we think we got right. I always enjoy those as well, too. Make sure you pay attention to all the top 10s, all of the tier lists, as we continuously update these tier lists every single month to let you know what's going on as far as the meta is concerned and champions we see rising and falling in the MCoC battle realm. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.